Government officials insist that this is an isolated incident, yet people that have his
Assalamu alaikum. This is Sisa Mira Inc. podcast with me, Asma Sitole. On today's episode, we're going to be delving into the fascinating lives of content creators, or one will call them influencers. We've seen of how much of a bigger role we've played in society, more with regards to what we purchase and the content that we consume online. Joining me, I'll be having Faiza Siddiqui, who's a Dubai-based content creator. Faiza, shukran for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me and for the kind words, surprise, and congrats on starting your own podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. Been a long time coming, actually. I wanted to invite you long time ago, but it just somehow it just happened today.
Yes, it's been going on for a while.
Do you mind briefly describing to us of what do content creators do?
So, content creation involves a lot of steps. What you see on social media is just the end result, right? There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of work that goes behind it. So,
Yes.
if you're doing content creation properly, there is a workflow process which
Mm-hmm.
involves doing a research on the topic that you would be creating content about,
Mm-hmm.
creating a proper script, and so on and so forth. Like, there's a proper workflow process. So, and, I mean, everybody should enjoy creating content, I feel. Don't do it thinking that it's for the money. Yes, that will come in
Mm-hmm.
eventually when you're good at it,
Yes.
but the main focus shouldn't be money, right? So
Yes.
content creation involves like the editing part, the scripting part, the research part, the recording, and all of that experimentation, following trends, doing real research on your competitors. That is what content creation is about. it's
Oh,
it's
wow.
not just about getting free products or services or visiting fancy places or meeting new
Yes.
people.
You mentioned something very significant that, it's not about making money, it's not about monetizing from it. But if you do, that's okay. But I don't think it has to be, taking a person to do extreme things to get attention and to monetize from content creation. And I think that's what, it will spoil the whole industry to have people who are desperate for attention. What are the myths that you like to debunk, more especially with regards to becoming a content creator or an influencer?
It's not easy work, and it's not about the free stuff and free food. Definitely, there's a lot of work that goes behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said earlier, what people see is the end result. They're not involved in the process. They don't know how many shots you would have to take for a particular clip or how much
Yes.
research you've done on the particular topic, right? So it's
Yes.
hard work. It's not easy. That's a myth. If people think it's easy and you're getting all the free food and free stuff, no, no, you do put in a lot of effort. It's hard work.
I remember when we first met, you mentioned that you're a founder of Wind, which is a content creator company. Do you mind telling us of what inspired you to even call it Wind, and what was the whole branding behind it?
The name Wind means
Yes.
what's your next destination? So there's a
Oh,
story
wow.
behind it. I was
That's
traveling
beautiful.
to Turkey in 2017 when I couldn't sleep. And because whenever I'm traveling with friends, I'm the person who's
Mm-hmm.
doing all the planning, right? They leave
Oh,
that to
yes.
me. I'm good with
Yeah.
research. I enjoy the process. So I thought of a platform where you would find all the necessary information in one single video, in one single window.
All
But
right.
that required a huge amount of investment and resources, so I never went through with it. But when I
Mm-hmm.
started my content creation journey in 2019 and I was thinking, what name should I keep? I thought
Mm-hmm.
of Win because it's what's your next destination. So the destination with respect to my content creation, would mean anything. It could be a restaurant, it can be a country, it can be a hotel, it can be anything, literally. And when I started my own agency last year, I thought that Wind was the perfect fit for the name, because with respect to my clients, the
Yes.
destination is the right audience, right? So our job is
All
to get
right.
their content in front of the right audience, and that's the destination they're expecting.
I can tell that it stems from passion, from the love of traveling and the love of people, the love of exploring other things out there. And it's a perfect example that a brand name is very much essential, more especially when you're launching a company. It should resonate with you and it should resonate with your audience as well. So I do like Wind. I think it's my favorite. I must say your content has so much humor into it and so much informative at times. How do you separate your professional and personal life? I remember when we met, it was you came across as this more serious person, and I think people do get it when they meet you first time. And how do you separate your personal and professional life?
The first perception that people normally get about me is
Mm-hmm.
that I am a serious person, right?
Yes.
But at the same time, they also find me very approachable somehow. I don't know. They say that. In fact, when I started my content creation journey, I remember a couple of friends. They were
Mm-hmm.
like, you can crack jokes with a very straight face. Have you ever considered stand-up comedy? And I'm like, no. They're like, I don't know how you do it, but you do it. Like you can joke with a very serious face, and I'm like, that's just
Exactly.
me.
Oh wow. Actually, yeah, that's a
And
you mastered that. And
if you were to choose one platform to create content on for the rest of your life, which platform would it be and why?
Um, because I had started off with Instagram, and I believe I'm more
Mhm.
comfortable in Instagram. Like previously, Facebook was the thing, right?
Yes, I
But
remember that time.
in this day and age, it's the parents or grandparents using Facebook. So Facebook is outdated, right?
Of
Why
course.
Instagram is because I find the clean quality of audience there.
Yes. Oh
Yeah,
wow.
you have
Oh
to
wow, that's
maintain that. Yeah, you have to maintain that aesthetic for brands to approach you on Instagram,
mhm.
and the quality of audience is very different. So it would be definitely Instagram.
What are the latest trends that we're going to be seeing in the next coming 2 years or 5 years, especially within this industry of content creators?
Basically, people are tired of the over edited videos, right?
Mhm.
The creators don't understand that. They feel that, oh, if you're going to put in some amazing editing and heavily edited, and maybe that's going to get the audience's attention, but that's not how it is. So,
Mhm.
because people are tired of watching the heavily edited content, what
Yes.
they prefer watching is something natural. When YouTube had started, people just
Mhm.
would just pick up their phone and record, and they're not wearing too much makeup, and even the background could be a bit cluttered. That's showing the real
Oh
them, right?
yeah. Mhm.
That is what people want to see right now. So this is the kind of content that people prefer following these days. And I'm not sure how long that trend will last, but in future, I do see AI taking over substantially.
What you touched on is very important, and it's very much aligned with the generation of today. And but it also stems from who's your target audience and who are you marketing to, or who are you trying to influence. And I think we have both worlds, and we have to accommodate both worlds as much as possible, so that what we don't take them out of what they know, or what we would like them to know at this particular time, or space. I have a 15-year-old niece of mine who would wish to be a content creator. What advice would you give to her?
Content creation or digital marketing is the future, that is certain, right?
Yeah.
And being a 15-year-old, I would say that because she has that time and the age, she should study about it as much as she possibly can, and
Mhm.
develop those skills that are required to be a successful content creator, and observe how other people are posting the videos or how they present themselves, and pick up
Yes.
those points and experiment and see which topics work, right? And
Yes.
that is how she would be able to determine what kind of content people prefer watching on her feed.
All right. All right.
But
Perfect. Definitely.
she definitely needs to understand content creation, and the
Mhm.
education is mandatory.
And also possessing some kind of qualification, upskilling yourself in some areas is vital.
Correct, correct.
Right,
It's a
that's amazing. That's
responsibility.
definitely she'll take that.
Definitely, it's a responsibility to learn everything
Mhm.
there is to learn about content creation. And then eventually, when you get to a point where you don't
Yes.
need to manage everything on your own, then get a team. But
All
initially,
right.
you need that information to get started.
What was the content that you created with the client that left you so much inspired, and you know what, you felt like, you know what, you're gonna change one person's life once they watched your content.
I wouldn't say that it had an impact on somebody else's life, but I would say
Hmm.
that I was privileged to get the opportunity of working with NAS Academy,
Yes.
and we had to
Mm.
create videos for .store domains, right?
Yes.
The program was for 3 months. It stretched a little bit, that's different, but it was for 3 months. It involved mentoring. There were some prizes for different categories, and then eventually they would announce the overall winners. So during
Hmm.
this program, yes, while I was familiar with a few things, like I've educated myself on the
Hmm.
angles and so on and so forth, but the knowledge that I received from the program was pretty extensive.
Hmm.
And I think because of that, I've been able to refine my workflow process. And now, when I'm managing a team, yeah, so the way that it impacts people is when I'm managing a team right now, there are certain things that they're not aware of,
Yes.
which I can correct them with or teach them.
Yes.
And at the same time, they've managed to define a workflow for themselves as well.
Wow,
So that
that's
entire
good.
experience was very exciting. I mean, I'm honored to be a part of that program, and I came in second, by the way.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you.
Congratulations, definitely. You're so passionate about this. I can tell, whenever you talk about your work, and it shows through your work as well. Watching your videos, there's so much passion, there's so much drive, and also some inspiration behind your brand as well, and behind of what you're doing. I think you are a very inspiration to the upcoming content creators.
What plans do you have for wind, more especially, for the year 2025?
Um, Definitely better planning and creating more content than I have been doing in the past. And at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, working on my agency, building it
Yes.
up. There's
Mm-hmm.
a lot going on with respect to my agency as well. And as a creator, definitely I'm looking forward to create more amazing content to entertain my audience, exploring more places, maybe even traveling. So let's see how that goes.
Thank you, Faiza, for enlightening us, because we have so many different myths about what it takes to be a content creator or an influencer. And I do believe that, it takes, a hard work for one to become one and to be consistent as well. So I would like to say, shukran for joining me. And from me here at Sisa Media Inc., I say shukran.